Today, I will be dissecting and analyzing this ancient tome for you, ladies and gentlemen. This comic was purchased, well, I purchased it, I think 2020, for $10. Back in the day, it was $1.95. So hopefully nobody drew in this comic. Some of the other Tales from the Crypts that they were selling there had drawings on them. Well, obviously, but, you know, they were graffiti. First, I will turn through each page as delicately as I can, allowing you to appreciate the art. That's really good. And then I will do a dramatic reading of one of these stories for you. You know, most of these were burnt, which is why I take good care of this one. Try to keep it out of the sun as not to damage it. Which reminds me, how's the lighting? Oh boy, speaking of lighting, woo! After looking over this, I have decided that the first story that I will do is the one on the cover, because it looks the most interesting. I mean, there's a reason why I put it on the cover, after all. So, I'm gonna go over there and get a sip of tea, just to soothe my voice, and then I will begin the reading. That's good tea. Allow me. The gloves might have gotten a little moist due to the tea. Got the collector's item for you, friend. Got a collector's item for your friends. Got a real great chiller diller. Give the man your grimy little dime, if you haven't done so already. And come into the crypt of terror. This is the crypt. This is the crypt keeper, ready with the author of my tale of horror. So sit down on the tan bark floor, and I'll begin the blood curdling yarn I call low breath. Sorry in advance. Well, not advance. Sorry in the middle of it. I'm dyslexic, and so if I stumble on a couple of words or two, forgive me. Long before the advent of radio, movies, television, and comic books, the only entertainment folks thought out throughout the country enjoyed were the traveling carnivals, which set up their gaudy-colored tents on vacant tracts of land. At this outskirts of their towns. About 80 years ago, one of these Calvinists came to a small town in the Oxford Mountains. Right this way, folks. Oh, see the sideshow. See the greatest collection of oddities ever to be assembled under one tent. Right this way, folks. The sideshow of this particular carnival was owned by a man named Ernest Flea. Partly over the years, he had assembled a fabulous collection of oddities and freaks. He had the usual attractions. See the family of fat lady folks. For £150 of a female See Handar, the sword swallower. Skull, face the living skeleton. Fuego, the fire eater. That's Spanish for fire. So his name is Fire, the fire eater. Excuse me one moment. I need to do something. I'm just gonna pause it real quick. I'm gonna come right back. Don't you worry. Okay, back to business, folks. Folks, ladies and creatures. You see, I had a dental surgery last week, and I'm a little bit of pain right now. Anyway. But Ernest really had one attraction, a headline attraction that never failed to draw the crowds. The serpent, the curious, the curious form on their quarters. Last but not least, folks, the star attraction of Freely Sideshow, the most unusual oddity to ever be put on display, anywhere, anytime, inside or in its original is Marina, the only female Egyptian mummy in existence. 25 cents, folks, right this way. Obviously, this isn't true. There have been several female mummies. But there's one one incident where I think they were unwrapping a male mummy, and it turned out to be a princess or something? Or was it the other way around? I don't know, but the point is that, like, usually they bury the pharaoh and his wife, so it wouldn't make any sense to only mummify one of them. That's just... I don't know. It's 1940s, 50s, whatever America writing this, so who cares? Myra, the Egyptian mummy, was owned by... Why do they give them such weird names? Zachary Kling, a retired archaeologist. Ernest Freely paid Zachary Kling a very large salary for the privilege of exhibiting Myra. Excuse me one second, my challenge needs me. Where did that thing go? Run out to now. Oh, whatever. Sorry about the interruptions, I'm trying to be more casual this video. And now, folks, if you will, step this way. Dr. Kling, who found Myra, the Egyptian mummy, will tell you all about her and show her to you. 5 times a day, Zachary Kling would narrate how he discovered Myra, then show her to the gaping consumers. He'd even undo part of the mummy wrapping. Accurate. In the Victorian era, mostly, they would actually do this. Make it more quiet. Myra is the only female Egyptian mummy in America. Was found in the Valley of the Kings by my expedition. Her tomb was deep in the cliffs that towered over the Nile River. On the tomb walls, we found the inscription. It seems that Myra, or Myriana, as the Egyptians called her, was a lady in waiting to the pharaoh's wife. Okay, there's a lot of weird stuff going. I'm not an Egyptologist. I'm just a layman, but this seems very outkeeping. Also, why the Egyptians wait? Bring me my perfume, Myra. Yes, mistress. Myra was very beautiful and soon caught the pharaoh's fancy, but loyal Myra was faithful to her mistress, repelled the pharaoh's advances. Do not struggle, my pet. I am your king. You must do as I wish. No. No, that's not a good voice for her. No. There we go. No, I will not. Never. The pharaoh, in his anger, ordered that she be buried alive as punishment. Myra was forcibly wrapped in the ceremonial burial bindings? No. So if he hates her, then how come he buried her, bothered to, do this really fancy thing? She got buried in the Valley of Kings, when A, she's a servant, and B, the pharaoh doesn't like her. Whatever. She fights like a cat, sire. She will fight no more. Hurry. And so, for thousands of years, this poor girl lay in her tomb until I uncovered her, and now I give her to you. Myra! Oh, gasp. The mummified body of the unfortunate servant girl stood in its sarcophagus, its arms folded across her chest. Oh boy. The carnival customers never failed to gasp and scream whenever Dr. Kling would uncover it. And now I will remove some of the wrappings. We have x-rays now, we don't have to do this. If the sight of the mummy was revolting her unwrapping face was even more so, the wrinkled, dried flesh clinging to her skull like wet tissue paper. Her eyes had receded deep into their sockets, lids drawn tightly back in a leaning grin. Some cry out, some turn away. Good Lord! Yeah, it's pretty cool. for all the faults of the writing, the art is pretty good. At least I like it. But there was always more the next. Wait, who's talking? But there always more the next night. More of the curious would travel fast in small towns. They flocked to see Myria. She well earned her keep. Ernest Fleely paid Zachary Kling his salary happily, and then when the carnival hit the small worksome town, you Mr. Freely, my name's Deb. You Mr. Freely, my name's Deb. Jeb Slicks. I understand you own this here sideshow, Mr. Freely. I think you might be interested in what I got. What's that, Mr. Six? On the dog round these parts, Mr. Feely, ain't got no life or nothing. But folks like what I do for 'em, they got 'em both 2 years. This here cone come down from this mountain. I've never laid eyes on her before. She begs me to come back with her. Look, Mr. Slicks, I'm a busy man. Get to the point. What is it you've got that I'd be interested in? I get it, to Mr. Flea. I take it easy anyway. This old crumb begging me so bad. I went. She told me her son was sick, terribly sick. She said he was a diet. To any authors out there, please don't phonetically transcribe accents. It is so hard for me. She took me up into the mountains to this here cave. I nearly threw up at what I saw. What was it, Mr. Six? I hate these names. It was her son, Mr. Freely. Her son had 2 heads. It was horrible. Why does anybody choke when they're scared? Kin un, do anything important enough. What? Kin un, do anything for... Oh, kin un, do anything for Enoch. He was too far gone for me to save. He died about an hour after we got to the cave. I'm sorry, madam. I've done all I could. Enoch is dead. Take him. I'm taking him away. Take him away. Out of my sight. He must have been 22, Mr. Freely. I took his body back down the mountain and put it in a moonshine. What? In a moonshine still. I didn't want anybody seeing it. Whatever. Tales from the Crypt is supposed to be a bunch of hokey horror fun. And you still have it. The 2-headed body? It's been in the still for 2 years, Mr. Freely. The moonshine seems to have preserved it. Take me to it, quickly! Mr. Freely and the quack doctor. Can you stop changing the colors of these boxes? Here, give each character their own color so that way I can figure out who's talking. Mr. Freely and the quack doctor pushed their way through the crowd, ogling at Myria's mummy. Outside the carnival grounds, a horse and wagon waited. They drove to hide still. There she is, Mr. Freely. Come on. The light from the lantern cast an orange glow into the huge wooden still below. Ooh, nice. Check something real quick. Alright, we're still recording. Below the surface of the moonshine, the plubbling white face of the 2-headed corpse stared up at Ernest Freely. That's him. Gulp. What is these weird sounds? Just go with the gas. Like, whatever. I think I the whole time. Ernest turned to Jeb Sickley. His eyes widened. His face flushed. How would you like to join my show, Jeb? So what old Duckling does? Exhibit this here, Enoch. Tell him how you got him. I'll pay you good salary. Join up with you, Freely. What'll I do? I guess I'd like that. I guess I'd like that. So Jeb Six took his 2-headed preserved body out of the still and joined Ernest Freely's sideshow. Was placed in a specifically made glass tank filled with formaldehyde, and put on exhibit. And now, folks, I give you Dr. Jebson Six and Enoch. Folks, I've discovered Enoch in the cave of an old mountain grown back in Ozarks. He died in my arms. The only time he's a man of few words. When Jeb drew back the curtain, revealing the pasty-skinned, green skinned, bloat, 2-headed corpse of Enoch, the sideshow customers would cringe and shudder and revulse. And now I give you Enoch, the 2-headed man. Choke off, cough. You cough like you're bored. Whatever. I take along for Ernest Freely. It didn't take long for Ernest Freely to realize that the thing in the huge glass tank was a really valuable exhibit. And diverse star billing like Myria. That's right, Jeb. I'm moving you up to star attraction. You'll share it with Dr. Kling here. Thank you, Mr. Freely. You know what? I kind of ship it. So Enoch and... These two. So Enoch was placed opposite side Myria, the five times a day. Jeb Slicks and Jack Kling exhibited their oddities to the circus, who'd pay their quarters to see them. Myra, Enoch. 5 times a day, Myra rotted brown wrappings were removed from her face, her mummified face. Gasp, choke. Just have one speech bubble that says gasp, or like maybe a scream or something. And 5 times a day, curtain hiding Enoch's tank was withdrawn, revealing the twins' twisted, turning, preserved corpse. And 5 times a day, as the crowd ogled and gasped, pasty skinned, and face to face, Enoch, floating in his formaldehyde world, stared with glazed eyes at the mummified unwrapping, the putrid mummified unwrapped face of Myra the mummy. Please tell me they fall in love. That's all I want. How much is this left? I can't remember. The carnival moved on from town to town. From town to town. Oh, the carnival moved on from town to town. Crowds flocked to see Enoch and Myra, and jealousy between Zart Kling and Jeb Slicks flamed. What do you mean? You're cutting my salary. If it wasn't for Myra, Enoch pulls them in twos. Zach, I've been underpaying Jeb. He and you get the same form now on it. Enoch pulls them in too, Zach. If I've been underpaying Jeb. He and you get the same form. Or now on it. I'm losing your pay and I'm lowering your pay and raising his. The bloated body with the searing pairs of eyes swayed in its formaldehyde. The dried remains in the rotted wrapping stood silently. 5 times a day they gazed upon each other. Enoch, Myra. Then Ernest Reilly, always the businessman, announced, "I'm moving. You and Myra get front, Kling. Get out front, Kling. We need a draw for the admissions. Jeb and Enoch are the stars now." And so, when the rotted unwrappings were removed from Myra's skull and mummified face, she looked across the crowd and saw nothing. I give you, Myra. And when the curtain was pulled back, uncovering Enoch's tank, he looked out across the crowd and saw nothing. I give you, Enoch. Thus, in the black of night, when the carnival folks lay asleep, a dried, bony hand moved slowly, hastily pulling away the rotten brown wrappings, while a bloated pail and hand slid upward and over the tank rim, pulling its chalky pallor body after it. The morning heard the sideshow tent Enoch with an angry the show tent Enoch with angry voices. What? You stole him. He stole Enoch. He stole Myra. Calm down, you two. Switching between all these voices is hard. Ernest quit the raging oddities owner. Use your heads, you fools. If both of you are missing, neither one of you could have done it. You know what? That kind of makes sense. I wish this was in more stories. Old Doc Kling knelt to the tainted Barkley and picked up a musty-smelling fragment. A piece of Myra's unwrapping. Drops of formaldehyde. They go that way. The 3 men followed the fragments of mummy unwrapping and the droplets of formaldehyde out of the sideshow tent and into the morning sunlight. The trail was clear, very clear. It leads to that house. Look at the sign. That's the Justice of the Peace. Good heavens. The Justice of the Peace was very friendly. He told the sideshow men all he knew. Couple came here last night. Yep. Wanted to get married. I did it. I performed the ceremony. Wasn't there anything strange about them? Shucks. All I saw is that they must have been drunk and smelled mighty bad. Like as if they'd been drunk. But $5 is $5. Didn't you see? Didn't see nothing. Can't see. I'm blind, you know. Blind? Good heavens. Okay, last page. Let's see what these 2 crazy cats did. Careful now. Don't peek. Here comes the finish. Brace yourselves. First, let me say that Mr. Freely, Jeb, and Zach lost Myra and Enoch's trail after they left the Justice of the Peace. Just couldn't find them. In fact, it wasn't till a year later when the carnival returned to the very Ozarks town where Enoch had first joined the sideshow that Mr. Freely had heard about the strange doings up in the mountains. Somebody said they seen him, but I don't believe him. Who ever heard of a living mummy and a 2-headed corpse? Where did they see them? Where did they see them? Up in the old crone's cave. She's dead now, but the folks around here are mighty superstitious. If you ask me, seeing things now. They're seeing things now. Jeb will take me there. He knows where it is. They went, Jeb and Zach, who stayed on with the carnival, had handyman as handyman, and there's a girl, happy handyman, and Mr. Freely. They went up to the mountain to the old crone's cave. Look, good heavens, that's his favorite phrase here. It's them. And the three carnival men dragged their long-lost oddities back to the mountains. Myria, Enoch, my boy. At last, after over a year. But the three men were out of earshot when the whale drifted out of deep in the bowels of the crone's cave. They never saw the infant thing crawled out into the sunlight, its eyes streaming with tears, crying for its parents. Yep, that's it, kiddies. That's my story. Yep, Enoch of the double domes and my old man. His dad? Myria, the mummy, was my old lady. Could have made a joke about mommy and mummy, but no. My old lady. You might say the mummy was my mummy. Oh, there it is. The mummy was my mummy. By the way, I understand that there's a carnival tonight, 80 years later, that still exhibit a mummy and the two-headed preserved corpse. If any of you see them, write me. I want to send a card. It's their anniversary scary next month. I didn't know that these comics had lore, but here we go. I really like that story. We might have to return to this. I hope you liked this more casual video. I thought it was fun. I'll practice with my voices, okay?